football program culture or viewed as culture by Notre Dame, or is the Notre Dame football program viewed as a commodity by Notre Dame? Because that's two totally different things. And I asked that because I think, me being a hip hop head, it's hard for a talent sometimes to wrap their heads around, like, dude, these record labels don't view you as a culture. They view you as a commodity.
Right.
And when you understand that going into it, you can do a better job of navigating things from a contractual standpoint and a career standpoint.
Right.
But as former players and as you watch, college football evolve and Notre Dame kind of take the back seat in some areas, do you feel like it's almost like Notre Dame is afraid to let Notre Dame football be as big as it could be? Like, if they really, I'll say that when Lou Holtz, we talked about how the administration, would hold back. Man, if Lou Holtz would have let y'all ride out 89 against Miami, y'all probably would have beat them dudes by 2 touchdowns.
I mean, Reggie, you was there. Reggie, you was there.
As a fan, that's frustrating. Like, dude, that should have been back-to-back national championships.
Agreed. I will say this.
Do you think that the football team will never be able to outshine the brand? Is that the idea, the guys in the office, that the football team can't be bigger than the brand?
That shouldn't be the case, because let's be honest. You can say what you want, but the football team is the brand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But they don't want to admit that, though.
Again,
they don't want to admit it.
And I get that, but they don't, whether they want to admit it or not, they know.
Right. Right.
But and this is more of my thought process, is like, you talk about the culture, and again, the culture is more than just the football; it's the athletic department.
Mm-hmm.
And again, and it doesn't have to be adversarial, because it comes back to relationships, building those relationships across the school, because there's a view. And again, it's not to that extent as it used to be, where you just here because you play football, you just here because you play basketball, you just here. That's what we witnessed.
Yeah.
There's a culture now of, commercialism. I mean, you can say what you want, but Notre Dame has become commercialized because it is a brand. It is a commodity.
Right.
But as a student athlete, you have a choice.
Yep.
You can either, go that route, or you can, and I love, definitely want Oscar to chime on this, as well as Malik. But do you, as a player of a particular team and a coach of a particular sport, do you have to abide by that, or can you set that culture within yourselves as a team, as a program? And I look at women's basketball. I look at Muffin McGraw. They're about to dedicate a statue to her next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of things she had to do to establish that program.
Right. Yep.
And it didn't start with the administration. It didn't even start with those outside of the program. She said, hey, this is who we're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then she passed the baton to Coach Neil Ivey.
Yep.
But she first established, and she took a lot. I mean, she went through a lot.
Yeah.
In terms of like how to build the program. And I think with football, Marcus has to be a coach that can bring us back to, it's not about the brand as it is the culture of the program that you want to have.
Right. You know what? And to your point, Reggie, I feel like Coach Freeman is still developing that culture.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he's still early on, in his tenure. So it's not like a Coach Holtz has been there for a decade, and kind of what you're going to get. He's still figuring it out, be it with coaching, being it with the type of player, being it with, as you said earlier, Reggie, relationships that he has on campus and throughout the Notre Dame community. All those things are really, really important. So I don't know at this point in the Freeman era, if there's any delineation between Notre Dame football being its own brand and separating from the brand that is Notre Dame. You know what I mean? Style of play is a part of that. Obviously, Subway alumni is a big part of that. Presence on campus is a big part of that. And fair or not, perception is probably the biggest part of that. So it's hard to say. I mean, when we, Coach Holtz would always remind us, nobody's bigger than the lady on the dome. Remember him saying that, Reggie? Like Coach Holtz, devout Catholic, like he loved Notre Dame. He loved the institution. He loved what it stood for, and all those things that were a part of what made Notre Dame Notre Dame. Now that said, when you came across the street, when you walked across Juniper, it was a different lifestyle, brother. And those expectations were laid out. There was no question about it, and it was on us as players to live up to said expectation, whether it was that of the university or that of the football program. So I think it's a little bit too early to separate the two in the Freeman era.